Howdy shuckers! 2 weeks since the game has dropped and we get our first patch. I wanted to make a video explaining all the patches that happened because some people really don't like to sit there, scroll through a huge list about their character and just to see one thing has happened or if anything has. So, really quick, what has happened without really breaking it down just yet? When someone leaves a match and a bot comes in, they won't start even after the character has died, so that's a huge plus. Elimination and skirmish are now different game types. Guard break system has changed. The Valkyrie has a huge buff. The Peacekeeper is pretty much now a range character. Berserker and Conqueror's got the same buff, but a buff at that, and Orochi got what's pretty much like a nerf buff, but it's your opinion. Let's start with the guard break fixes. What did they do? They reverted it back to the original beta status. Now, on the beta, it was a lot easier and they made the window a little bit bigger to break guards. Now that's the biggest complaint people have nowadays, because you have a lot of characters that are very guard heavy. You have your wardens, your conquerors, your lawbringers. They all want to get into these certain break patterns. That's the thing with the new break system. A lot of these unblockables or these unbreakable chains that certain characters have don't happen anymore. Valkyrie players finally have a feasible character on their hands. Her pouncing thrust and her hunter strike damage went from 12 to 17. Her light attack recovery is reduced by 1 frame. Second attacks of light chains, their startup and recovery is reduced by 1 frame. Shield charge changed into light. Now, when you do a shield charge, you can now chain that into a light attack. Lastly, her hunter's rush recovery is reduced by 2 frames. Now, what does all this mean? She's going to be a faster character. She's going to hit harder, and that's going to be a problem. Everybody already knows if you're going against a Valkyrie, if you get any kind of distance between the two of you, she's either going to parry all your attacks, or she's going to poke you from a distance and you're just going to rage the whole time. This is going to make it even better for those characters. I like Valkyrie. Even though I play a lot of Berserker, I do plan on picking this character up. Not because of all these buffs, even before this. I thought she was just very cool. Now, moving on to Peacekeeper. The first thing that they did was they reworked her stacking when it comes to the bleed. If you break them and stab them once, it does 2 damage for the break, 15 over 10 seconds. If you break them, stab them twice, it's 12 damage for 8 seconds. If you stab them 3 times, it's 9 damage over 6 seconds. So what that means, the more times you get in there and you stab her 3 times, or anybody 3 times, if it stacks, it's gonna do a lot. But here's the deal. The stacks only go up to 36. It used to be 45, now it's just 36. So no matter how many times you stack that bleed, once you get to that 36 mark, you're done. You're not gonna do any more. They've also increased the range of her stab from 1 meter to 2 meters. Also, the normal light attacks, they increased the range of them by 0.25 meters. I believe this is a pretty significant buff for Peacekeepers, giving them a little bit more ability to get in closer, able to close the distance a little bit better. That's a problem for a lot of them sometimes, especially if you're going against another assassin. That's never a fun fight. That's when you get stuck in the stupid pirouette of death. Everyone's spinning around each other attacking. It's never fun. This could be really good for them. You'll be able to hit them from a little bit more of a distance, not have to worry about spinning so much and attacking off of that. Berserkers and Conquerors both receive the same buffs. Their light attacks, their recovery is reduced by 2 frames. Now the reason why this is big for Berserkers, you used to be able to block a Berserker attack and you got a free guard break off of that. That is no longer possible. I'm not sure if that was the same for Conquerors, I never played that character, but this one you were able to at least break the character every single time you block a Berserker attack. What does this mean for both the characters? It's going to be harder to block them and evade their attacks. It's usually pretty easy to parry Berserkers now because you know a certain way is going to happen and you know it's going to be a certain timing. It's not going to be the same, at least for a little bit. People will figure out the timing and that's going to go back to the way it is. But until then, right now, it's going to be a little bit harder to deal with both Barbarians and Conquerors. And lastly, the Orochi. They have 1 buff. Their backdash from the Riptide Strike is increased from 1.75 meters to 2 meters fully. And for this patch, that's really it. They have a bunch of other things for the feats that people touch with. I didn't really mess with those. I'll leave a link in the description so you can see for yourself what everything's done. Give me your opinion. Tell me what you think. You think the Valkyrie got too much? You think the Berserkers and Conquerors didn't get enough, or you think they got too much? You think the Peacekeeper is going to destroy everybody? Tell me what you think. I'm pretty open-minded. I like it when new characters get used. I need to get off the Berserker, but I really didn't want to get off of her until I reached max level. We'll see what happens though. A lot of this stuff makes me want to try other characters. Do what you can. Have a good time. Enjoy this game, especially with the amount of attention that it's getting. The more you give it, the more stuff that's going to come out, and that's awesome. We need to get other characters into the rotation. I would love it if I got to see more Shugokis. Anything like that. So, comment, like, subscribe, all that blah 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 bullshit. If you like this, I'll do it again. If you didn't, I'm doing it again. Woo! Alright, until then, boys, shuck 'em up and shuck 'em out.